Some people on the outside anecdotally refer to us as the third largest country in the world. I can tell you that as long as we don't screw things up, and hopefully you're part of the solution, not part of the problem, we should get to 1 billion users in the next 1.5 or 2 years. That's pretty amazing. So we are, if we were quote unquote a country by those superficial measures from, that external people will put on us, the second largest country in the world, maybe the largest country in the world. So what do all of these data points mean? Well, what it really means is that we could do things that no other company has ever done. And we as a system could basically create change that nobody else has done. The problem is that we're organized like any other company. We have hierarchy, there are people, you're paid a salary, you get equity, there's benefits, there's free nuts, there's dry cleaning, there's all this bullshit around. Which means that most of you will revert to how most people behave in most other companies. And you optimize for the bullshit. And so then what happens? Very quickly in most companies, which is probably why you're leaving the company that you've worked at, because you probably didn't like it. It was probably political, you probably didn't like your boss, you probably didn't like your coworkers, maybe what you were doing was not successful, whatever. Any number of things that afflicts every other company could theoretically inflict us at some point in time as well. And so my biggest fear is that you are part of the problem and not part of the solution. You could theoretically have tricked people on the way in. Who knows whether you're good or not? It'll only be clear in a year. It took me 2 years to find my footing at this place. The point is you can come in with the right attitude. There's so much stuff that you probably had to deal with in the places you've worked for that really ticked you off. People that are optimizing for themselves. A lot of short-term thinking. We try as often as possible to create systems that separate us from that stuff. And then every day you're going to be in a position where you make a decision. Am I going to revert to that pattern of behavior, or am I going to actually embrace what seems to be somewhat different from everything else that I've interacted with before? We try to create a culture where the people at the top, frankly, know, very little. Kind of walk around, blah-blah-blahing from meeting to meeting. And so as a result, we empower the people that actually do the work to do the work. You decide what needs to get done, and then you do it. In 2007, I got to work on some awesome products. Facebook platform, really amazing success, transformational in the world. Some Facebook ad products, which today are generating a lot of our revenue. But then I also worked on a product called Beacon, which was an utter failure. But the thing was, all of it was originated from the ground up. At the time, we felt those were the right things to do. We tried to push the social norms in a direction that we thought were constructively positive. We tried it. Some worked, some failed, but all of them were viewed in the same lens, which is like, you're better to have tried than not done anything. And along the way, there wasn't a pre-meeting, the meeting before the meeting, the deck for the meeting, the random person who kind of wants to be a part of the meeting. There was no time for that shit. The risk is, again, we're 2,000 employees and we get bigger, that stuff starts to happen. Because again, incentives become misaligned. What I can tell you is that the success that we've had, as much as it seems now as you guys are part of the family, should pale in comparison to what can be possible in the next 10 to 15 years. If that is true, what I will tell you is the rising tide lifts all boats. Okay? If this company achieves its potential, people will think you're better looking than you are, you'll smell better, people will think you dance better, you'll have more friends, it'll just be amazing, okay? Congratulations, all of you. Wonderful. Your parents would be so proud. But that's what happens in success if you can just, again, not allow all of the crap that you're probably leaving behind. You got to leave all that baggage at the door. Don't bring that in with you. We're trying still to this day just to find a core group of people. And frankly, look, for a company of our scale, it's 2,000 people. Any other company at our scale has 15,000, 20,000 employees. You know what the problem is with that? 19,000, 17,000 of those people don't do jack shit. They're running around trying to invent a narrative for how they're part of it. And the problem with that is you have the meeting before the meeting, the deck for the meeting, the people who pre-brief the meeting, the budget for the meeting, the budget for the pre-meeting, And that's what causes companies to die. Because you spend so much work on the preamble, you don't get any actually time to do the work. And so really good people get frustrated and leave. Okay, that's awesome for us. Except then at some point you're going to get frustrated and maybe you'll leave. So we have a responsibility here. So we try to strike that balance. There's really no accountability in the sense that, you know, nobody's holding your hand every day here. There is accountability because there's expectations for performance. The reality is you could probably go and launch a really awesome product. You can go and, you know, nail a really big account. You can go and get some developers to build some great products. You could hide in the corner and eat the free nuts. Who knows? I mean, there's a wide gamut of things that are probably possible in the next 6 months. And frankly, probably not many people will say anything. Because there's just not enough people here to basically babysit you. That should be really awesome. You should be really excited by that notion. Nobody's here. It's not that there's not enough to do that there will be people managing your day-to-day schedule, which means that you're going to be able to do whatever you think is the right thing. But I want to be honest. That creates an expectation. You are supposed to be better than everybody else we did not hire. You're supposed to be better thinkers. You're supposed to have better values. You're supposed to be more aligned to what we've been doing for the past 6 years. And you don't have the right to change that shit in your own direction. We are on a path. This train has left the station. And so what I would encourage you to do is embrace what that gives you. A total open platform. Take a lot of risk. Question whatever you want. Say the things that are important. Think about the bigger picture. And along the way, enjoy the free nuts. The dry cleaning's great. The shuttle to the city is awesome, I suppose. But none of that stuff matters. Because if we don't win, and that stuff took precedence, then basically what we were was duped into giving all of that stuff so that we could focus on the bigger picture, yet what happened was the bigger picture was lost. So the bigger picture is the following. We're not worried about tens or hundreds. We think in billions and trillions. Your framework for making decisions, billions and trillions. That's the scale in which we are living. That's our potential. Okay? We are super competitive about wanting to get there. We all demonstrate it in different ways, but we have a deep desire to win. Your job is to help, and in return, you should be given free rein. But that is the value exchange between us and you starting today. And so, just internalize what that means. And every single thing that you guys ever had to deal with that ticked you off, please use this as a place to invert all of those behaviors. And then next week, there will be people that are newer than you. And when they go off the path, you need to check them and course correct them. Because people will check and course correct you. And if all that works well, we should have something on our hands that is just massive. If you thought massive was already this coming in the door, we're 5% there. We're not there. Billions, trillions. Right now we're in the thousands, millions, hundreds of millions. That's pretty good. Billions and trillions. Every single metric. That's what you're playing for. Group hug? Ready? Group hug? I'm happy to answer any questions, otherwise I'll let you guys get back to it.
Any questions, guys?
Okay, good luck, guys. Make it rain. See you later.